The white light was so bright it was almost painful. She jokingly thought she was seeing the light, but she wasn't ready to head toward it just yet. Gradually, the light dimmed until she could make out a block of text in the distance. As she looked in its direction, it quickly rushed toward her until it filled her vision. "Uniworld!" it announced, which meant nothing to her. Just as she finished reading it, the text exploded into a million pieces and disappeared. She wasn't sure what else to expect, so she tried to take stock of the situation. She found she could move her head and look all around her. Unfortunately, everywhere she looked was a white expanse of nothing. She tried to discern whether she could see her body, but there was nothing there as well, nor could she feel or touch anything. Startled out of her perusal of her environment, a soft female voice suddenly emerged from the blank space. "Welcome, player." She couldn't see anything, and the voice seemed to come from all around and from nowhere, all at the same time. It was as if it were speaking directly to her mind, which, for Cadence, was startling and unexpected. She didn't know how to respond, so she just waited. "Thank you for choosing Uniworld for your entertainment pleasure. We here at Unitech hope you have a fulfilling and worthwhile experience. If you experience any system or game issues while playing Uniworld, please use the in-game help system. Thank you, and happy adventuring." Well, that didn't really explain much, she thought. The white light surrounding Cadence began to fade away until she was enrobed in darkness. Suddenly, the sound of a spotlight turning on highlighted a figure on a stage in front of her. Not just any figure, though. Somehow, it was a full-on clone of Cadence herself. At least, the Cadence that wasn't all busted up in the hospital. She was wearing a tight pink moisture-wicking t-shirt with a sports bra underneath, light blue yoga pants, and pristine white tennis shoes. The kind of outfit she liked to wear while she was running. The Never system you are currently using can extrapolate your real-life appearance based upon a specific set of firing neurons located in your frontal cortex. In other words, a memory of yourself. Hopefully, this is an appearance that you are comfortable with. If you choose to change it, you may do so during the character creation process. Would you like a tutorial? Yes, please. I have no idea what you're talking about. She tried to project her pleas for help toward the voice talking to her, but there was no reaction. Very well. You may now create your character using the Creation Toolkit. Since you opted out of the tutorial, details about your options are suspended unless you specifically ask about them. Once you are complete, confirm your selections either by saying confirm or by physically touching the confirm button. Good luck, and congratulations for choosing Uniworld for your entertainment pleasure. Cadence somehow felt the voice fade away and leave. Now what do I do? She didn't have long to wonder, as a world of physical sensations crashed upon her unexpectedly. She quickly looked down, as she felt something akin to standing on the ground. She had a body. It was essentially a reflection of the Cadence she could see on the stage. Having some sense of physicality was a relief after the lack of sensations recently. I can walk again. I can move my hands and arms. She started jogging around, finding she had missed being able to walk and run. Running around the stage, she discovered that it was only about 20 feet across, and she could see her clone from all directions. Apparently, my memories also remembered me having a massive wedgie. Cadence moved towards the front of her double. That was when she noticed some semi-transparent boxes floating to the sides of the other Cadence. She lived for texting, so seeing these text boxes made this whole strange situation a little bit more familiar. Race selection: human, elf, dwarf, undead, troll. So, are you intrigued? Excellent. This week I am exploring The Song Maiden, Uniworld Online, Book 1 by Jonathan Brooks, here on the Board Goddess Book Reviews. Hello, fellow bibliomaniacs, and welcome to another exciting week here in my library. I am the Board Goddess, and I am beyond excited to share with you a real adventure. Please remember that by liking and subscribing to my channel, you're helping me to continue uncovering awesome stories and to keep creating video book reviews for your enjoyment and entertainment. While you're at it, please feel free to toss a comment or two my way with thoughts on the books I review, as well as stories and books you'd be interested in seeing added to the videos. Or hey, you can just say hi. Now, before we get too far into it, let me introduce Mad Max, my chief ratings duck. It is his sheer brilliance, along with the assistance of his plucky little feathered friends, that our review is forged into the form of a rating. Right, Max, shall we dive into yet another amazing adventure? Huzzah! Let us be off. Today we will be transported into the litRPG journey that is The Song Maiden by Jonathan Brooks. This is an earlier work for this prolific author, yet it is one I find myself returning to often, especially when I am craving a lighter read with a unique storyline. I want to mention this story is best suited for mid-teen and older, as it does contain scenes with sexual undertones and incidents of violence which might be unsettling for more sensitive readers. I hear, all the way over here, some of you saying, wait, what's litRPG? Let me explain. LitRPG, or literary role-playing game, is a growing genre of fiction combining the immersive experience of digital role-playing games with traditional storylines. This kind of book generally revolves around a protagonist who deliberately immerses themselves in a virtual world in order to undertake quests and challenges set by the game realm. Imagine for a moment never having been able to speak, not even able to make a vocal sound. This is the world into which Cadence is born. Struggling with an unknown disability which interrupts signals in her brain, communication proves difficult. Despite the tireless efforts of her loving parents and her best friend Jill, no answer to her disability can be found, and Cadence is left with only written communication as her connection to the outside world. But even with her limitations, she excels in her education and manages to get into college, rooming with Jill. Her first day of college, though, turns into a near tragedy as she is violently attacked. Now, confined to a hospital bed in which to allow her broken body to heal, Jill brings Cadence a virtual reality system called Nevers, in the hopes that the unique, immersive experience will distract her from pain and depression, given the gift of access to a virtual world in which she can move, speak, and interact. Adventures await as she fights her own way to freedom in both real life and in-game. When I stumbled across this book, I was hooked by this idea. Most people take for granted our ability to speak and use our hands and fingers without issue, and the protagonist's plight intrigued me. Beyond that, it offered magic and mayhem in a virtual world. I just had to buy it. I didn't know what to expect when I bought The Song Maiden, but what I did get was even better than I expected. When I come across stories in the litRPG genre, I usually find the protagonist blowing up mobs with spells, or taking up a sword in a heroic manner. Not so in this story. In fact, I want to know why this game doesn't exist in current virtual space, especially on a VR headset. I would play it, no questions asked. That would be like, shut up and take my money, man. My respect for this protagonist grew as the story progressed. She didn't only see quests leveling up or getting loot, obviously the main point for most players. Instead, she grew to care about the characters in the game, and hated how some players took advantage of them. As a victim of bullying myself in the past, I find it sad that some people, even in the gaming world, forget how to be decent when they're behind a screen. This isn't a tale of an all-conquering hero or heroine on a quest for world domination. It also isn't a classic underdog story, although some might view it as such. Instead, this is a story of a journey along unconventional paths to achieve more than anyone could have imagined possible, and a testament in which it's shown that treating others with dignity and compassion can pay out rewards beyond your wildest dreams. The world building of the Song Maiden was beyond awesome, and not just limited to the game world within the story, though that was a real highlight for me. I mean, come on. The sheer thrill of being able to immerse yourself in a game world controlled by AI that literally respond to your thoughts instead of depending upon clunky mechanical controls. That is just mind-bending. So much yes. I want it now. Gimme. The author's genius in weaving the notion that non-playable characters were more than mere pawns for easy quests and experience was something I really appreciated. I loved how each character was well developed and had a vibrant life of their own, adding depth and richness to the game's narrative. For those who are unfamiliar with role-playing games, characters are given types of classes, which differentiate them from others through skill sets utilized by the players. Few players choose to play a bard in RPGs because the character class tends to have skills specific for utility helping out other players rather than being able to do quests and gain experience on their own. But this is the class in which Cadence's character falls, and it was fantastic to see this class finally given some love by showcasing its immense value and potential. While it did not detract from my enjoyment of the book, I personally wish the scientific aspect of Cadence's disability had been observed, and RPG rules could have been better researched. But that is just because I am very OCD with details. I also want to mention some reviewers have cited scenes of, shall we say, intimate interludes in the book. I do have the second edition, and unless these scenes were skipped by my ADHD brain, I did not see anything of that nature in the story. Of course, there's the double-edged sword of the shorter length of this gem, which spans about 284 pages in its paperback format. So if you're craving a dense, in-depth, let's take a month to experience this book kind of read, you might be disappointed. However, if you're looking for an entertaining, lighter, quick-to-digest story for a weekend reading binge, this is great. All right, Max, it's that time. Are you and your feathered partners ready to rate this incredible book? Once again, we are in agreement, dear Max. Though this wonderful story contains fantastic characters and unique utilization of litRPG, there were some issues in the story I feel could have been better explained. Therefore, I am awarding The Song Maiden by Jonathan Brooks 4 ducks. I have linked to the Amazon affiliate page below. Please do check out this and Jonathan Brooks' other amazing stories. He has so many awesome books out there, each one better than the next. And if you love fantasy, you won't be disappointed. Have you read The Song Maiden? How did you feel about the story? Let's discuss it in the comments or my Discord, also linked below. I am there every day and looking very forward to building a community of like-minded indie book admirers. My review schedule for 2023 is now completely filled, but I am reserving places for 2024. So, if you are an author of an indie book and would like me to do a video review of your work, please submit a request on my website, theboredgoddess.weebly.com. The link to the page is listed below. If you're a reader and want to share a little-known self-published novel, please leave a request for video review for readers on my website. Should I choose the book, I'll give you a high five in the review. The forum page can be found below as well. I'm also on Instagram, Goodreads, and X. The links are there. And hey, this is Thirsty Work. If you would like to send me a coffee, I have the link down below as well. High five to Christina and Jason for this cup of joe. So guys, that's it for now. Thank you so much for hanging with me, and adios until next Wednesday. May your day be epic, and may awesomeness follow you like a sad puppy needing hugs. See you next time. Bye all. Thank you for choosing Universal. Would you like a tutorial? No distracting the narrator. To freedom. Freedom! Beyond that, it offered magic and mayhem in a few... Free your mind! But this is the clack... Clack? Clack. But this is the class in which characters can...